So on Reddit relationships, an OP poster says, me, I'm a 34-year-old female, and my husband, who's a 34-year-old male, and I got into a terrible verbal fight, and I don't know if we can come back from it. So today on Decoy Noise, a more serious topic on the Decoy, we got Tuggle back again. Make sure you subscribe down below, but let's just get into the story right now. So you would say you're having successful relationships, you're doing better now because you're more experienced, more like mature and responsible. So you'd be someone that I'd say could give me personally good relationship advice. So let's go into like a serious mode and read this topic right here and see if what we can say for the OP. So we have often argued during our marriage of 7 years, but resentment has been building up this year along with many stressors. My father passed away at the beginning of 2019, husband was laid off in April and had a very hard time finding another job. At his new job, I felt like he was becoming far too cozy with the secretary and it led to a lot of arguments. Okay. Yesterday we got into what should have been a minor disagreement. Instead, it's like the floodgates of resentment on both sides opened and we both just escalated the fight. We ended up saying things I don't think they can ever be taken back. I know I was saying things I felt were true, but had never really said. I assumed he was doing the same. Some of the things that were said. Okay, so he told me I was fat and always miserable, and he was far happier at work than at home with me. God. I told him that other men hit on me and obviously don't feel I'm too fat. I told him he wasn't nearly hot enough to call me fat. This is like an Eminem 8 Mile rap battle. He told me I was lazy and boring and that anyone hitting on me was probably just looking for a hookup and would quickly become turned off by my personality. Ooh, jeez. I told him that at least I didn't act inappropriately with other men because unlike him, I am respectful of our marriage and quickly shut stuff down rather than flirting with the office slut. Ooh, so this was like the floodgates of all the resentment. He said at least she was fun, oh no, and kind and had a beautiful body. No. So when he had come home to me every night, of course he flirted with her at work because she was a nicer person than me and hotter than me. I told him that she could have him because he was boring, lazy lover anyway, and I'm sure she sampled his technique, she would quickly lose interest. He told me that I was boring and lazy with me in bed because he found me gross and he's never been attracted to my body, and he only is with me intimately when he wants to get off, but he really wants it over with quickly. I'm ashamed of how we acted, but the nasty soul-crushing things we said to each other. I'm guessing we can't come back from that, right? I can't imagine having intimate relationships with him now. Is this something that we could work through in counseling, or should we call it a day and move forward to separate? So after months of stress and resentment, we threw each other's insecurities. So today on Failed Relationships, what is your advice to original poster, 31-year-old female? Done? Me?
Yeah,
it's done.
Like,
it's over.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to that point where they saying all that, it's no comeback. I'm gonna tell a little side story.
Okay,
This side story is something where I guess it's relevant to this situation. So, at the time, I'm about 23.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And I had a girlfriend who was a lawyer who was about 27, 28 from Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan? I'm so uneducated. I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's like is it Kazakhstan or something like that? So I had a girlfriend at that time.
Sounds intelligent though. Okay, so good. Yeah. Go.
We were really into each other.
Okay, cool.
I was crazy about her at that time. She was crazy about me.
Yeah.
And I know that we got into an argument because see, the thing was, she's at like about 40, 41, and I'm 36.
Yeah.
She was 5-6 years older than me.
Yeah,
so
that's a big deal when you're in your young 20s.
Yeah. And I know she wanted a family and stuff like that because she did push for certain things like that.
You said, I'm sorry, how old was she exactly?
Let's see, when I was about 23, she was about 27.
See, 27 is the time, 28, where they have to be kind of like pragmatic, where it's like, hey, I want to have a kid and I want to have 2 kids.
She was 5 years older than me, so what is that, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, she was 28 when I was 23.
So no knock on her. If she wants to have 2 kids with you, it's like, hey, you got to get serious. First kid comes out at 28, 29. Second kid comes out at 31. So then maybe that makes more sense for her to kind of pressure you. So no knock on her.
Yeah, and we were just in different places in our life. And
exactly.
And I remember one night, and this is similar to this.
Oh, so
we got it. So one night she did something to piss me off, and she crossed the line, and she knew she did something. I can't even remember what it is because it's been so long ago. You know,
these past arguments seem so petty in the future, right?
It's petty in the future. I can't even remember what it was about. So she did something. She was staying over at my place.
Yeah.
And in my condo at that time, and so we were supposed to go to Santa Monica on a date. So we ended up going to Santa Monica. We're driving in the car.
Have you already had the fight yet?
the fight. Well, somewhat the fight had happened.
Okay.
I was kind of distant at that point, kind of quiet. So we're driving the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm quiet. I'm not really talking.
Yeah.
The radio's playing, but I'm not talking. So then she's trying to like get me to talk, trying to butter me up, and I'm just like not feeling it because
you still go to Santa Monica?
She really did something that bugged me.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when we got to Santa Monica, I remember that she, I don't remember what happened. We got into an argument in the car. I was looking for parking. We get into an argument in the car, and she tells me I'm almost 30 years old. I'm not gonna let some 23-year-old think he could tell me what to do. and
now this is starting.
And I was like, whoa.
You watch UFC, right? You watch UFC, right?
Sometimes,
like,
yeah.
You know Joe Rogan, and like when the fight starts, and here we go. That's like the ding, ding, ding.
And she storms out the car. She slams my door. Like I ain't even parked. We still drive. She gets out the car. She starts walking in Santa Monica. I think she's walking towards the pier. Starts walking, and then I end up, I think, parking my car on the side of the room. I'm like, and I go over to her, and I ain't gonna say her name on here. So let's give her a name. Let's call her
Jane. Whatever.
Yeah, Jane. Let's call her Jane.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, Jane, get back in the car. And I ain't even say it like, Jane, get the fuck back in the car. And so she keeps walking, whatever. And so then she gets back in the car and said, get the fuck back in the car. She gets in the car. And so later on that night, when we got back to my place, I knew in my head it was over.
Done.
And because the thing is, and she even knew it, because it's the first time that we slept opposite of each other, and it wasn't no cuddle, nothing gone. And from that moment, it took her. She's married now. She has 2 kids, which I'm happy for. And we're cool with each other. I mean, I ain't on social media no more, but when I was on social media, and and I told her I'm happy for her and everything. So, but she spent years trying to work things out and get me back. And she was like, "Oh, I was mad. I said some things I shouldn't have said, and I know." She said, "I said some very hurtful things to you to kind of chip at your manhood and emasculate you." And she was like, "I was just mad at the time. I shouldn't have said that." She's like, "I really care." And I want to say, spend years. She's been up to the person she's married. I think she's been like 5-6 years trying to get me back, and always keeping in touch. And even when I got in a sticky situation where I was underwater financially, and I paid her back. She sent me some money at that time.
Nice.
She did. She always still looked out for me. But it really just came to, and I just could never get over what she said to me. And I told her I couldn't be with no woman that doesn't respect me as a man. And I was like, and that killed me. And I was like, and no matter what she tried to convince me of, the fact I kept thinking of, okay, you're 5 years older than me, and I remember your true feelings of what you said to me. You told me I'm not gonna let some 23-year-old think he could. I'm almost 30. I'm gonna let some 23-year-old think he could tell me what to do. And it wasn't me telling her what to do. She was in the wrong.
Well, it's like, what do they call it? Drunk words or sober thoughts, and that's kind of thing where it's like, rage is kind of like a what do they call alcohol, social lubricant, and it's like rage is kind of like that too. You're gonna put it all out there. You don't care. That's the same thing that happened with this relationships post, where it's like you can't really be in a relationship with someone that doesn't even see you as like a sexual being. Like it's over.
And there's certain things that a person say that you just can't come back from. At least I felt that way, and that's why that relationship never flourished. And it's the same thing right here. Obviously, they went way worse and it went way deeper. But I relate to it in the sense that you never come. I know what it is to go through that and never come back. And the other person, it lives in regret of what they said for years. They live in regret for years, but they never can get you back. Because in my mind, that night, it imprinted on my mind, and I could never get past that. It would never allow me to care about her in the same way again.
It's over. Okay, we can kind of knock out a couple comments and then also controversial comments, because I want to see if anybody thinks that they can actually salvage this relationship. So, A. Griffin says, two relevant questions. Do you want to fix it? Does he? If either of you answer no, then no amount of counseling will help. Yeah, I think they're both over each other. I think it's like, do we want to settle for each other, or do we think we can do better?
I don't even think counseling gonna help, in my opinion, because I feel like the counseling just a temporarily soothe it. But they've went to a place so far that it's just like it's cooked, man.
And everybody else is saying, Meg Nog says, I don't know if it's fixable. Do you want to fix it? Nobody wants to fix it. It's one of those things where it's like,
start over.
Start over. And the thing is, though, is like, I don't want to say like, oh yeah, we're training someone, but it's like people treat you how you let them treat you. So if you said that she's gonna look at you, that girl was gonna look at you like less of a man, and you were gonna let that happen and then come back and get back with her, it's always gonna be ingrained in her head that it's like, oh yeah, I can see him as like, take away his masculinity and it's permissible. So it's like, I think that after losing who could have been the love of her life over emasculating you, she learned the hard lesson, like, oh yeah, if I ever really love a man again, I can never say something like that. Like, you're teaching her the hard way, and it's like, they gotta kind of learn from this. Like, you can never do this thing where it's like, oh yeah, you don't F me right, and she doesn't see you as a sexual being.
Yeah, words are powerful, man. In a relationship, words are powerful.
Yeah, okay, so Macy Mom says, honestly, you said nothing wrong until you... wow, that's...
You said nothing wrong.
You said nothing wrong until you told him...
They both said a lot of things wrong.
Until you told him he was a bad lover, which was justified given what he had been saying to you. He, however, was intentionally cruel and tearing you down from the get-go. Personally, if I were you, I wouldn't even want to make the effort to try. He doesn't sound worth keeping. I think you'll be happier on your own. Why is that a controversial? No, it's a controversial comment because everybody just read the first sentence and downvoted her saying, you did nothing wrong. Yeah, no, they're all pretty bad. People say all types of shit when they don't really mean in the heat of a fight. I can kind of see that, but that's... Unless they were... Nah, dude, they're always gonna...
But you gotta be conscious of what you... I ain't saying I'm perfect, but I know, like, there's things that, you know, me and my girl and I, we don't fight, like... We don't fight that much. Yeah. But we, in the beginning, when we first started dating, she probably don't want to put that... But it was a little bit rough in the beginning. But I would never say anything too crazy to her.
Hurtful.
Where it's like, I knew... Because I know what it feels like. Somebody say something where it's like... You can't come back from some shit that you say sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care how emotional you are in the moment. You got to be able to use some logic and guard yourself a little bit, because shit you say that can mess somebody up, and they can never come back from that.
Yeah, and they'll always be seeking that kind of approval from somebody. Like later on, like I sad to say, probably this wife and husband are going to be seeking the exact opposite what they heard in this fight. Like, oh my god, do you find me sexually attractive? Am I like, you know, do you think I'm this or that or whatnot? So like this other person says, Man Gone Mild said, sounds like he's been unhappy for a while, has been hesitant to pull the trigger on a divorce for whatever reason. I'm guessing he's scared of being screwed financially. I'm also doubting anything you said crushed his soul. Has been checked out he's been checked out, and you should too. I agree on that.
Yeah, I agree on that. He's been checked out. This ain't reason. He just been basically he sleeps and eats at home. That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, I've heard of this, and it's becoming more and more true in the age of dating and social media, that they say the monkey doesn't let go of one branch until they had the next branch. So it's like you hear these people that are like serial monogamers swinging from relationship to relationship. They're never single, like you said before in the other video, where it's like you figured yourself out, you figured out how to be happy by yourself, so you're ready to open up the doors to somebody else coming in and like teaching you things and you sharing them about them. But these people that are serial monogamers that are just like, oh, they're addicted to being in a relationship, and it's like, yeah, he wasn't ready to leave the relationship with his wife until he was totally secured that new secretary at work or whatever. If he couldn't get that, he's swinging back. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's checked out, but he's not ready to go. I think this is also bad advice, where it's like, you know, I'm guessing he's scared of being screwed financially. That's this guy's projecting.
That's just assuming. You don't know.
Yeah, he's projecting something like has nothing to do with the story or whatever. But we'll do one more.
But we definitely know he checked out.
Yeah, he's checked out. Yeah. So Rubber Dubber Ducky says, oh shit, I'm sorry. That got so ugly, it was poison. How do you even come back from that? Whether there were true statements or not, a mix of lies and truth might be worse, because how do you sort the two out? Yeah, it's over. Like, so.
The thing is that you could tell that obviously she still cares, even though there's things that was hurtful said on both sides, because for one, she's posting on Reddit about it. Yeah. She's asking for advice, so she
already knows.
So she hasn't fully checked it. I'm not saying she's not close to a breaking point, but she hasn't fully checked.
No, yeah, you're right. She did seek something. She's looking for reassurance, saying like, "Hey, is there something that someone can tell me that I'm not seeing right now that can salvage it?"
Because when you don't want to salvage it, when you don't want to save it, anybody I didn't want to be with, I didn't want to. Like, look, I'm not putting no effort forth. I'm not even like I'm not like even if you walk out the door tomorrow, it would even make me sad. It's just like, because you know, when you're over somebody, you're just done. You're just like, good riddance.
Yeah. So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10 insults, how screwed is this wife right now?
I say 20.
I'm saying 22. Like that's pretty bad. It's over.
Like
man.
yeah, it's over. I mean, I just think about the sex part alone. Like even if she wanted to have sex with him, she ain't gonna even want to be naked. She just probably gonna like she probably gonna just like take her jeans, like put her jeans like to her knees.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna even want to show her body, like shirt or nothing off. But she just even if he does, she gonna feel so self-conscious because of how he says you're fat and I don't even attract to you. Like
that's terrible.
It's cooked. Man.
It's cooked. It's over.
Yeah.
But you know what's not cooked is decoy noise. Make sure you subscribe down below. Check out that other video because you get to see, what was it? 90% of this video was our stories about kind of the story on Reddit relationships.
Yeah.
You can't get that anywhere else.